Hello everyone, welcome to Live with Sirus Migration Education. It's another beautiful evening. I just wanted to bring lots of the latest immigration changes and immigration rules changes, and also the updates on what's happening these days. If you have any interest to migrate to Australia, or if you're one of those in the process of migrating to Australia, probably this session would be important to you. My name is Isuru Yapa. I'm an Australian registered migration agent, and purpose of this video is to bring you the latest and also give my audience an opportunity to ask live questions to clarify any issues you have with the Australian migration system. And so if you just joined in, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. That'll keep you up to date with these sort of events and live sessions and videos that we put out through our channel. Every time a new update comes through, we seems to push it through our channels and medias to public, so you get to know about it. And also, if you're coming through Facebook, don't forget to hit that like button. If you're coming through YouTube, hit the subscribe button, or if you have any questions, I invite you to ask any immigration related questions in your comment box down below, so I can try to answer as much as I can during the session, or otherwise I will invite you to one-on-one session to discuss about your matter in person or in private, so we can talk about your migration matter personally. There are a few things that I would like to bring your attention until you get ready with your questions and answer sessions. I'm gonna talk, if you're doing something, don't worry, I've got another 20 minutes or so during this session, so if you have any other any questions, get them ready, type it in when the time permits you, and I'll be here. So it's been an interesting couple of weeks. We just have the new financial year, new migration era started with quite a few changes. There has been few changes to student visas, where there is not much encouragement from immigration for international students to extend to go into another student visa or altogether a new pathway while you're on shore, if you're in a student visa or a visitor visa, or if you're completing your 485. The immigration's advice right now is to go out and apply out from outside rather than on shore. But for people who's finishing off your 408, if you're still interested to extend your visa to a student visa, or if you want to upskill yourself through a student visa, you still have that opportunity. So 408, the COVID visa, or the interim visa that we had, a lot of people had post-COVID. If you're in one of those visas, you're welcome to apply for a student visa if you're still interested. And also, what happened lately is I would like to touch base about the allocations given to skilled migrants under general skilled migration sector. This is only for general skilled migration, not concerned on 482s or 186 or employee nominated schemes. Let's have a look at what we have in the screen. There's been a lot of questions. I mean, not that I would ever worry too much about what are the allocations or be stressed about it. If you're interested, if you think you're qualified, just do your job to the best you can. Just do the right submission and expression of interest, and you'll be okay. But this gives a good overview of what are the states which are extending lot of allocations and invitations to applicants. So Victoria's looking quite sharp. New South Wales looking quite sharp because they have a huge number of international students as well. I think it makes sense. In the highlight today, this year, I guess, as any other year, Western Australia's eligibility criteria for 190 491 that they have lately introduced is also quite relaxed. So if someone asks what's the highlighted state to look into a 190 or a 491 visa, I'd say Western Australia is a very good state to look into. They have 300, not because they have 3,000 190 allocations and 491 regional allocation for 2,000. It's also the eligibility criteria, whether you're onshore or offshore, is quite relaxed compared to most of the other states. We've seen a decline in invitations or the allocations for Queensland this year and South Australia. But Tasmania is shining as usual. And considering the size of the state, the ACT also is looking quite sharp. So 190, if you're new to these numbers, these are the visa subclasses under general skill migration. So 189 is federally invited. These 189 numbers aren't included in this. So if your occupation is in medium to long term list, you'll be invited, and you can be invited under 189 if you have put any expression of interest. And this is only looking deep into states under 190 and 491 visa categories. 190 is the state nomination. When you apply for 190 visa category, visa subclass, you get extra 5 points from the state as well. 491 is not a permanent visa, whereas 190 is a permanent visa. 491, you get an extra 15 points from the state by getting an invitation. So whatever your points, you get extra 15 points. Initially, you get a 5-year visa for yourself and your family to come and live and work in Australia. But you're expected to live and work in a regional area in that state once you arrive. So once you do that for 3 years, then you can apply for your 191 permanent visa. Even though you get access to Medicare system and you get to work full time without restrictions to what category of work you need to conduct, you still need to live and work in that regional area before you can be qualified to apply for a permanent visa if you were to get 491. 491 is a very good pathway for certain applicants where they're lacking bit of points and to give a competitive edge. Again, talking about these 491 categories, I always would like to talk about Queensland, where they have small business owner category. Even though Queensland has not yet announced their migration program for 2024-25 financial year, with small business owner category, you can purchase, if you can get 50 points by yourself, and if you currently have full-time work rights, you can apply for 491 small business owner, and they will give you an invitation if you were to buy a business in a regional Queensland area. When you buy that business, you need to be spending at least $100,000 as the settlement fee for acquisition, and it has to be a qualifying business. Then you need to buy it, operate it for 6 months, need to have one full-time Australian citizen or a permanent resident, or two part-time Australian citizens or permanent residents working. After 6 months, you can apply for 491 small business owner category, and you can get an invitation through that, and that's more a promising pathway than most of the other pathways. If you have any doubts what business to select, and if you're selecting the pathway correct, please feel free to give us a call, and we'll guide you through the acquisition process, and we will comment you on your eligibility as well, through the eligibility of the business as well as your eligibility. And if you have any questions with this, please be in touch. We'll give you a lot more advice and help through this. And having said that, there is another 491 small business owner category. I hope it's going to be in in this year's program as well, where you can start a business by yourself, so you don't have to pay that $100,000 in Australia, but you need to have that full-time work rights, etc. And then you need to, instead of 6 months, you need to operate it for 2 years. Operating it for 2 years, the second year you need to have that full-time Australian employee and or two minimum part-time Australian citizens or permanent residents working, and also you need to have at least a $200,000 turnover in the second year. That way you don't have to buy it. At least you can start a business and then get yourself through 491 as well. Then when you establish in this business, it has to be a shopfront business based in regional Queensland. So that's another pathway as well. I've got some questions coming through Facebook. Just before I was about to talk to you about GTI and work visa. Just before I talk, I'll quickly take this question from Amaya. Hi, I'm from Sri Lanka a hairdresser, and how can I know if I'm eligible for a 482 visa, and is there a permanent pathway for me? Of course. So the best way, what I've seen with hairdresser is you can get a skills assessment by sitting for by completing a skills assessment process. You need to have your English. If you go through general skill migration, then you need to have your English at competent level at least, which is IELTS 6 in each band or PT 15 each band, and then get a skills assessment and then assess yourself to see if you have at least 65 points, and then you can go through the UI process. But the easiest process I've seen is if you were to secure a job, you can go under 482 work visa category, TSS work visa. Unfortunately, you cannot apply for 186 direct entry directly. You need to have the relevant education qualification to be eligible for 482 visa, and then you need to have at least 2 years work experience with minimum of functional English to continue with this visa process. But the main part is you need to have an employer who's willing to sponsor you and offer you the right amount remuneration to go ahead with this visa process. There are a few other programs as well. If you're interested to talk in detail, please be in touch and we'll explain this in detail to you. Or if you find an employer who's willing to sponsor you, I'm happy to have a personal discussion with your employer to explain the process and also to guide you through the process. Hope that explain your question. Then let's quickly go into work visa. Sorry, Mario wants me to talk about GTI. Let's do GTI. Let's get this out of the way. Global Talent Independent Visa, my favorite visa. This is this visa targets Australia's internationally highly influenced people, prominent people in any of the target sectors. There are 10 target sectors. You can see it. And this year, the high income threshold has now gone up to 175,000 Australian dollars. And this is a fast track program to get into Australian permanent residency. The program intention is to attract highly experienced, highly exposed talents to Australia. This is a very good visa program, and we have seen many success stories through this. I have just completed a new video about this visa program, and it will be coming out very soon. You're welcome to go through it to understand the actual process. We have had many grants this week. Highlights where the grants are coming from. We have had grant from energy sector, finance services, fintech and health industries. Energy sector, the applicant is from originally from Sri Lanka. Finance services, the individual is originally from Qatar. Fintech is fintech sector. I've got a approval for a client from he's an Indian national, currently working in Dubai. Health industry, we had many grants. Health industry, one of the highlights is we've got these invitations in matter of days. So we've got few individuals from Sri Lanka and India in this sector. So Global Talent Independent is still an active visa. I'm currently working with quite a few number of highly influenced people, and the satisfaction with this visa is to see these successful individuals come in, how they face a new challenge in their life by settling in Australia. And it is interesting to see how they start their new venture in Australia and how they relate their skills and their capital, their knowledge, their connections here in Australia. So I really enjoy working with this visa sector, and I have seen many success stories from it. If you think you're currently one of those highly influenced, experienced individual who's currently in a high income threshold, or if you're eligible to attract $175,000 or more in Australia, this visa might be for you. There is no age limit, there is no relevant or minimum education requirement, there is no English requirement. If you're talented in one of those sectors, this visa is for you and your family, and you get access to a lot of incentives in return from Australia as well. Before I move on to any other questions, I would like to bring a little bit of attention towards business visa as well. I have introduced many business talents to Australia, and I've got quite a curious number of business and investment clients to understand how it's all going, because this visa has been on hold since almost 2 years now, and there was many announcement and there were sudden refusals on few of the visas towards the end of the last financial year as well. So there were some uncertainties and disappointments from a few clients where we are expecting a bit of a light towards the end of the tunnel. Right now we are expecting these applications now getting finalized. I've seen 188 clients getting invitations to 888. So you can continue to have your 188 extensions and 888. So this, what I mean by those numbers is, if you're currently in a business visa, you can now go into a permanent residency, or if you weren't successful completing your venture and you couldn't reach the requirements for 888 while you were in 188, you can apply for an extension right now. But unfortunately, 188 program has now closed for new applicants. So from 1st of July this year, there's no 188. But I mean, we knew there were no invitations coming since about 2 years anyway. So that didn't really make any difference. But we are expecting a large number of clients who are waiting for years and years. The Department of Home Affairs now hopefully starting to finalize some of these applications, and we are expecting further information requests and proper assessment through them, and I'm pretty sure soon we'll get to see some good news coming through. And there is also a new discussion about opening up a new business visa category towards the end of the year, combined with global talent independent visa. So they might there are a lot of talks about how this visa could be formed, but we have not seen any legal instruments towards it, so I cannot properly comment. But but if you're currently a successful business person who's got new venture ideas, or if you looking to extend your business venture to Australia, there are a lot more ways to bring your business across. If you'd like to learn more about this venture, these visa categories, please be in touch, and we'd explain this to you in detail in person, according to your requirements and your current background. I guess it's been a good discussion today. It's been a while. I think we are about to getting ready to wrap up the session for the day, but if you have any questions, feel free to type your question down below in comment sections, even once we repost this video. Or if you have a question, again, you can always contact us via admin@sirus.com.au or any of these medias listed below. Our target is to reach our clientele as fast as possible. Having said that, if we have to deliver our services to clients who are currently dealing with us, so you might have delays with return emails. But if you have an urgent matter that you want to discuss, always pick up your phone and set up an appointment, and one of us will be able to reach you as soon as possible. So thank you very much for joining us, and have a lovely weekend coming up. If you're in Queensland or if you're in Brisbane, don't forget to see Eka. Until next time we catch up, have a wonderful weekend coming and wonderful weeks coming, and God bless you all. Thank you.